I'm back, Dr. DePass, with Chapter 5, The Rules. My hand shook as I tugged on my bulky environmental suit. I could barely pull up the zipper. I was too anxious because I couldn't believe we were actually doing this. Sure, we've done some dumb things in the past. Well, mostly Vera had, but never anything this bad. This was going against every single rule we'd ever learned. No one else seemed scared, though. Flossie and Vera and Trey looked excited as they stepped into their suits. When they rushed through the air lock to the garage, I hung back. Did I really want to do this? Aside from getting in trouble with the grown-ups, this was dangerous. Those digireels with aliens always ended badly, usually with someone getting eaten. What if an alien had tentacles? I didn't want to be around one of those guys. Trey stuck his head through the door. Aren't you coming? He asked. I swallowed hard. Yes, just getting zipped up, I said, and followed him to the garage where Flossie and Vera were arguing next to the Enterprise. The Enterprise was the smaller of our two rovers. The bigger rover was called the Yellow Submarine and actually painted yellow. Sometimes I didn't get the odd names the grown-ups gave things. I have more hours in the rover than you do, Flossie said. Well, it was my idea in the first place, Vera insisted, and pushed past Flossie to get into the driver's seat. So I'm driving. I should have known it was Vera's idea. Trey and I got into the back seats and strapped on our 4-point safety harnesses. Then the garage door slid open and we were moving. Everyone was quiet as we drove through the settlement, passing the small, sad graveyard where Lisa and the cats were buried. It was like we were all holding our breath, just waiting to get caught. But nothing happened. No one stopped us. When we passed the flag that marked the edge of our territory, Vera hooted. Here we go, she shouted as she steered over the bumpy Mars terrain. But all I could think of was how many rules we were breaking. Correction, how many rules we had already broken so far. So far they were, rovers are off limits for children. Do not go beyond the flag. Are we going the right way, Belle? Flossie asked me. I tried to remember the way the ship had raced across the sky to the west. This seems right, yes. It wasn't too long before we saw a blue and white flag. There's Finland, Trey said. It was the closest settlement to ours, and I had never seen the inside of it. I'm pretty sure we're going to pass right by the French settlement, Vera said. I watched the French digireel. All the girls looked so stylish. They wear these scarves around their necks, Flossie said. Trey looked at me, and even through his helmet, I could see him rolling his eyes. I stared at the landscape. I never got tired of looking at it. There were gently sloping sand dunes and deep canyons, mountains, craters, and towering hills with jagged outcrops. Right now, we were driving across a plain studded with rocks. The sky was yellowish-brown, a color Eliana called butterscotch after an earth candy. As the rover bounced along, my stomach churned. I had a bad taste in my mouth and felt queasy. Ah, dust it. I was rover sick. Are we almost there? I asked. That's what the kids always say in the Earth digireels, Belle, Flossie said, amused. Did Earth kids barf in car vehicles? Because I feel like I was going to do just that any minute now. I feel sick, I said. Sick how? Flossie asked. Rover sick, I admitted. Oh, that's just great, Vera said and sighed. Finally, after what seemed like forever, Flossie pointed excitedly. I see it, she said. That's a French flag. Up ahead, there was a round pod of a habitat. A red, white, and blue flag fluttered from a pole. Let's get closer, Vera said. I looked at Trey and shook my head, mouthing no. I could tell he didn't think this was a good idea either. We're not allowed to visit other countries, Trey said. We aren't allowed to take the rover either, but here we are, Vera replied. Vera pulled the rover alongside the habitat so that we could look in the hexagon-shaped windows. But there were no lights on. Where is everyone? Vera asked. Probably underground, Trey said. That's too bad. I really wanted to see a French person, Vera said. We had never seen anyone from the foreign territories in real life. Well, I really wanted to see the scarves, Flossie said, disappointed. I took a deep breath, staring out my window. Now that we weren't moving, I was starting to feel a little better. That is, until I saw the person in the environmental suit walking towards us. They were carrying something long and metal with a curved end which looked like a weapon. I said, my mouth couldn't seem to work right. Do you think they look like us? Trey asked. Of course they do, Vera said. How do you know? Trey asked. I've seen digipics. Except they were cute scarves, Flossie added. Another person in an enviro suit joined the first one and had a long metal thing too. That person turned and shook their metal thing at our rover. They look just like that, I shouted, pointing out my window. Trey gasped. The people hopped towards us, gesturing angrily and waving their weapons. They don't seem very friendly, Trey said. I think we should go, Flossie said. Now! Right, Vera said, fumbling with the controls. It's in park, Flossie said. Put it in drive. I'm trying, Vera cried. Hurry, I urged. They're coming. It wasn't fast enough because they had already reached the rover and were banging on my window. I looked into the face glaring at me from behind the helmet. It was a man. He looked angry. Fear rushed through me. Move! Let me do it, Flossie yelled, leaning over and knocking Vera's hand away. She shifted the gear into reverse. Suddenly we were driving backwards, the French people chasing us. Then Vera turned sharply and we were driving forward away from the French settlement. I looked anxiously behind us until the figures were just specks on the horizon. And then, finally, nothing at all. The inside of the rover was quiet as it bumped along. No one was talking or laughing. All the excitement had escaped like air draining from a balloon. I couldn't stop shaking. All I could think about was we had broken another rule. No contact with foreign countries ever. Was having them chase us technically considered contact? It wasn't like we talked with them or been invited over for supper. What was that thing they were waving at us? Flossie asked. Some kind of weapon, Vera said. Maybe a sword like from Earth's ancient times, Trey suggested. I looked out the window and down at the steep sand dune cliff we were driving on top of. I took a deep breath, but it didn't help because I couldn't shake the fear anymore. It clung to me like a second skin. I want to go home, I blurted out. You do? Trey asked. Yes, I said, and he must have seen the fear in my eyes. Okay, he said, nodding slowly. No way, Vera said. We came all this way. Besides, we're close to the crash site. I think we should take a vote, Flossie said. I vote we go home. Me too, Trey said. Me three, I said. Vera turned to look back at us. There was a furious expression on her face. This isn't fair. We took a vote, Vera, Flossie said. Well, I'm the one driving, and I say, but she never finished her sentence. The next thing I knew, we were rolling over, and my helmet smacked the window hard, and everything turned black. When I opened my eyes, the rover was on its side, and everyone was yelling, and all I could do was gasp because of the pain in my shoulder. It felt like it was on fire. You drove right over the edge, Vera, Flossie said. It wasn't my fault, Vera squeaked. Her voice seemed even louder in my helmet. Are you hurt, Belle? Trey asked in a panicky voice. I tried to say something, but when I moved, sharp pains arched through my shoulder, and I screamed. Belle's hurt, Trey shouted. Everyone stay calm. Just stay calm, Flossie said. Shouting won't help anything. I am calm, he snapped at her. Flossie turned to look at me. Where does it hurt, Belle? My shoulder, I said in a whimper. Get me out. The harness hurts. The harness hurts, Trey asked. Yes. Hold on, he said. Trey undid his harness and scrambled over, looking at mine. He unlatched it, and my body fell towards the ground, hitting the side of the rover. I yelped in pain. Are you okay, Belle? Vera asked. What do you think? I huffed. We need to call for help now, Trey said. Well, unless someone happened to steal a digicom, we're out of luck, Flossie said. Only grown-ups had digicom devices. We all looked at Vera. She was the sneakiest one of us. I didn't take one, she said, throwing up her hands. Of all the times for Vera to be good. Ah, dusted, I whispered. And that was chapter 5. Come back to hear Bad Boring. See you again soon. Bye.